is 3 degrees outside here at Mountain Creek Ranch. And so we are going to shoot inside today around this roaring fire. I'm Terry Tucker, and this is the Tales of Mountain Creek Ranch. It is so cold outside that the only tail running around this place today is the tail of my long coat and some goose down feathers in here. We are going to talk about how to build an amazing roaring fire like this inside of a traditional wood stove. And that's what we're talking about today, how to create combustion. It is so toasty here by this warm fire. In fact, I'm kind of hot. Thinking about how cold it is outside feels pretty good. So what is happening in here? It's called combustion. And building a fire really requires 3 things. It requires oxygen, it requires fuel, and then it requires heat. And those 3 things come together to create what's known as the fire triangle. When any one of those 3 things doesn't happen, we don't have fire. So we can't just cross our fingers, throw some wood in, throw a match in, and hope it happens. There's a little science to it. So I'm going to demonstrate something that I've actually known for a long time. I learned it as a little girl camping with my family. Get down here to the ranch, even though I'm a city girl, I actually knew something. And I found out that it's a legit way to build a fire, and it's called the log cabin way. I'm going to use the wood that's here in this beautiful wood box. And when I open this wood box, I see that there's all kinds of wood inside. So when I talked to Goober, I said, hey, what kind of wood should we use when building a great fire? And he loves oak. Oak is a good, hot wood, sustained wood. He did tell me a secret though. He said if you use hedge wood, it burns so hot that you can actually melt the tops of your wood stove. So we don't want a lot of that. A little bit goes a long way. So with the log cabin technique, you take the bigger pieces of wood and you build your base with 4 pieces of wood built into the beginnings of a log cabin. So then you would take your smaller pieces of wood or your kindling and you would put it down inside the log cabin. And this would give it easier fuel to catch right away. So then you can stack your bigger wood back on top after you light the inside of the log cabin. This creates your chimney effect and allows that combustion to happen. The holes in the sides of the log cabin allow the air to enter, and you can have that roaring fire. Another thing I learned from the ranch that I didn't know was this amazing pot that's on top of the wood stove is filled with water. And every good wood stove owner knows you put that pot on top filled with water and it makes a natural humidifier in your room, because wood heat can dry the room out and the humidifier puts the moisture back in. So we learned today on this Tales that you can't just throw wood in, throw a match in, throw a little wad of paper in and hope you have a fire. That the fire triangle teaches us we need fuel, we need oxygen, and we need heat, the source of flame, the spark. When those things happen, we have combustion. It's hard to build and sustain a fire, just like it's hard to build and sustain a culture in our lives as leaders. If this interests you and you would like to know more about the key ingredients, what's the fire triangle to have a good culture of perpetual combustion, join me for a bit and I'll see you on the other side of the mountain. Click the link below and join us for our online leadership learning environment. We'll see you there.